will not believe how many times I've done this introduction, but hello, my name is Tommy, and in 4 days' time I'm heading back to Uganda on a photography adventure. So what I want to do is take you through the kit that I'm going to be taking with me. If you have any questions, chuck them in the comments below. But without further ado, we'll crack on. So my main backpack is the Low Pro Whistler 450. It's like an Aladdin's cave. You can fit whatever you like in there, and it's so comfortable even with the weight. So flip him open. I'm taking two cameras. I'm taking a 6D and I'm taking a 70D. The 6D is the full frame. It's lightweight and it's got Wi-Fi capabilities, so I can quickly ping an image from the camera to my phone and then upload it. The 70D is much better for video because it's got the tilting screen, and it's also great for attaching a long lens so I can shoot wildlife and sports. 24-105, such a versatile lens. It's got image stabilization, handheld at low light, and also handheld for video. It's incredible. On the front of this, I have a circular polarizer. We're going to be shooting a lot of water sports. So the reflections that come off the water, the polarizer can deal with those. 6D, 70D, and the 24-105. 50mm, pretty standard, nice and light, phenomenal in low light with a 1.4 aperture, so you can let lots of light in when it's dark. Here we go. The monster. Out comes the monster. Canon 70-200 2.8. For a travel photographer, it is not the lightest beast to carry around, but it's certainly tough. Fantastic video and image quality. It's got different stabilization modes, and generally, I wouldn't be without it. So he's coming too. As we're shooting wildlife and sports, there's going to be a lot of distance between me and the subject. So 70-200 is fairly good, but put a doubler on it, and then I've got up to 400 and a little bit more if I put it onto the crop sensor. So that's really essential for this trip as well. So we've got tons of spare batteries. In Africa, you never know when you're going to find power. So to have full batteries all the time is really important. So I've got about six or seven spare batteries that I keep in a case. Battery charger. I choose one without the long lead, because then it's just less leads to carry. So that one attaches to there. Spare end caps. Always handy if you're going to take a lens off and just store it. A tough case full of memory cards. You can never have enough memory cards. If you run out, you're stuffed. Lighting wise, last year I invested in the ProFoto B2. I've got two battery packs, so it keeps me running. So one can be charging while the other one's at work. I chose the single light pack because it's got so much power. 250 watts. It's about 4 or 5 times more powerful than just a speed light. But the main reason I kind of gravitated towards this investment was I was getting frustrated with using so many batteries when I was using speed lights and the triggers. That is a phenomenal setup. It's it's a little bit expensive, but I've certainly already got my money's worth for it. This is the trigger that sits on top of the camera. You can adjust everything from the camera, so even if I've got a friend with the light 100 yards away, I can be changing the settings, and it's done instantly. To go with the lighting setup, I've got two modifiers, well, three actually. So you've got the 2-foot softbox Octa, which gives a super soft light. It's got a nice diffuser on the front, and then inside is another baffle. You can't really see in there, sorry. To attach that one to the light, you have the ring attachment. So all of those little prongs just attach into there, and then it hooks onto the front of the light like so. Come on. Locks in place, and then you are good to go. And a little light stand. So it all sits on top of that little light stand, and within about 2 minutes you are ready to shoot wherever you are on location. The other modifier is this beast. So cut down a bit of tube, put 2 bungs on the end. That protects it, and it can go in the hold luggage. So this is the Umbrella Deep Silver, and it's a small one. This gives a bit more of a harsher light, and you basically bounce the flash back into that beast, and it can actually, once pushed right the way inside, once the light's right the way inside, it can offer you a few more stops of light in the bright sunshine. MacBook charger and the charging kit for the B2. In the front compartment is the MacBook. So that's all of the stuff from the main pack. So all of that goes with me onto the plane. It's all necessary, and should I happen to lose all of my other baggage that's underneath the plane, I can get cracking with this. I've not lost anything. I have my chargers, I have spare batteries, I have the camera. All right, so I'll clear this lot away, and then we'll have a look at what's underneath the table. This is actually the bag that the ProFoto B2 kit comes in. I don't usually carry it around in this, but what it does give is a nice padded case to carry all the accessories. So this bag actually goes into my hold luggage, into my larger pack, and it's just full of little goodies really. So in this bag, we've got a little microphone. This is bus powered, so it just works straight off your camera battery. Really neat little microphone, and it does have the windsock on the front, but it can still be affected by quite a lot of audio from around the place. So the lavalier mic that I have on is a bit more direct, and especially if you're working outside, this is good. But run and gun, following people around, getting interviews, and it vastly improves the sound on your camera. This little bag, an Eagle Creek bag, it has got GoPro Hero 3 in and a load of accessories. So that's just great for water sports, and it's a super wide camera, so you can shoot some quite cool angles and get great effects with it. Now, I said I didn't like speed lights, but for this trip I've got a speed light and a few sets of few packs of batteries. The reason for that is that part of the festival that I'm going to shoot is potentially going to get a bit rowdy, so I want to have a flash that I can use at night that is not going to it's not going to matter if it gets damaged or if it gets anything spilt on it. So that's why I'm taking that as a spare one, and that comes in a Cactus Outdoor little case, and that's they're based in New Zealand, so thank you to my sister for sending that one for Christmas. Black Rapid sports strap for your shoulder, really comfortable way to carry your camera just off to the side. Another strap to hold the B2. Little LEDs from Manfrotto. These things are pretty epic actually. So you can put it on top of the camera to use it as a video light, or you can hold it off to the side, or get a friend to hold it so you can light a portrait with it. If you don't want to be too flash, grab one of those and you can get some great portraits. Little bag of cleaning stuff, so some sensor cleaners. I'm not sure why you would ever want to expose your sensor anywhere in Africa, because there's dust everywhere. But if shit hits the fan and you really need to clean it, then find a space, and these little swabs will do the trick. A little rocket blower, and also a spare memory card reader. So if anything happens to the reader that I've got on my MacBook, I've got a spare one, and I can still process and back up the images through the computer. Mini tripod from Manfrotto again. This is great if you want to attach the attach the LED light. You can have it there and sit it anywhere. You can also attach the GoPro as well to that. So it's multitasking, really cool little bit of kit. Here we go, tethering lead. So this lead basically attaches to my camera, straight into my MacBook, and then using Lightroom, every time I take a picture, it becomes live on Lightroom and goes straight to the computer. This is really handy when you want to involve a bit of a community in the shoot you're doing, because they get to see the pictures you're taking as you're taking them. And from experience last time, it was so much fun watching their reaction as the pictures of their friends came up on the screen. So that's really valuable, and especially when you're trying to involve yourself in a culture or a community of people, it's really important to share. And rather than sharing the back of your camera every 2 seconds, just let that run while you're doing a shoot, and you know, it's crazy. Everyone have a great time. In there as well is a little remote control, so I can basically shoot without having to press the shutter button. I just bung that into the camera and shoot. Really good if you're doing night photography or something like that, and you can let it go for time lapses. Back to the third modifier for my light. There it is. So it's basically a big honeycomb grid that goes on the front of the softbox, and it takes the field of view from about 70 degrees spread of light to 50. I use this if I'm in some sort of confined area where I don't want the light to spill onto the background, because to be honest, the less editing I have to do, the better. So this is a really handy little add-on to the ProFoto range, which I use quite a lot, and it bounces quite well. In here, a few little filters. So we've got a cheapy eBay ND filter that goes from like minimum to maximum, so I'd imagine 0 to about 10. So it blocks the light, so during the daytime, if you want to do a slow shutter speed of anything, it allows you to do that. And oh yeah, last thing is the padded bag for the ProFoto B2. So as I said, this bag comes with me into the plane. No, it doesn't. It actually doesn't at all. It goes underneath the plane in the hold luggage. Nothing in here is vital, so if anything went missing, it would be a bummer, but I could live without it for the whole trip if needs be. The bag that I've had for a long time, Flipside Sport. It opens from the back, so you've got quite a lot of protection when it's against your back. Nobody can get in and just nab your cameras. You can only limit a certain amount of, there's a limit to how much you can carry in it as well, which is handy. So if you're on a nice day out and you just want to take the camera in one lens, perfect. You can fit a few extra bits in here. Head torch. So this head torch is actually tucked away in here. Nice Petzl head torch. And when it's tucked inside this little travel case, you can hang it up and it turns into a little light for your tent. What are these things? A little bit of magic. So a couple of USB drives. These are really handy, and you know, I do take a backup hard drive, but these are really awesome. And you know, you can get big ones, so these are like 65 gigabyte, but you can get 128, and that's essentially a really good, quick and light way to chuck all of your images and back them up. So you put them on there. Notebook, journal, always essential on any trip to write down your thoughts, people's names, addresses, ideas. So always handy to have one of those. Probably save the battery. But yeah, this bag, just a handy day sack, and that would just get stuffed with a few things and then put in the main pack. Finally, I think, is this beast. It is the Pelican 1300 case. It's solid as a rock and completely waterproof. It's basically for me to be able to put my camera and a lens or 2 lenses in, and then travel down a river in my kayak. Or if it's really, really raining one day, I can take my kit out in this if I didn't want to take the smaller orange bag, and I know it would be protected. And finally, actually, in there is a surge protector multi-plug. You never know when the power is going to be on or off, but if it suddenly goes off and your computer and your cameras are attached to it, then it could actually screw the hardware. So that's a really essential thing to take to Africa. But other than that, I'm taking about 3 pairs of pants. But that is my kit video. That's the kit that I am taking to Uganda with me next week. And yeah, hope I didn't waffle too much, and I hope you enjoyed it. But any questions, put them in the comments below. But don't be afraid to reach out. Tommy Hatwell on Instagram. That's a place where you'll get most of the content going up, daily stories and images. So thank you very much. I am going to have a cup of tea. Boom.